Rohit is saying, is finance glorified? How do you know you want to get into finance as a passion or more for the money? Most folks become investment bankers or hedge fund associated for the money, and none of them are happy. Tell me one investment banker that's happy. And I was the same way when I was younger, and all my students are like this too. And I've taught here in the Bay Area, MBAs, undergraduate business, everything. And a lot of students want to become an investment banker. They don't know why though. And you ask them why, and they can't really articulate it. Some will say, well, because I want to make a lot of money. Well, dude, you work crazy hours, and the money you make per hour is probably less than what your buddies are making that don't work crazy hours. And also, what you do is it's tough because you do a lot of, bogus photocopying and PowerPoint presentations and pitches. You got to be extraordinarily passionate about that in order to be successful at it. And you got to be a six-tool player as well, because if you want to make a partner in a firm as an investment banker, you got to be able to sell. That's what a partner is in a law firm or an investment bank or whatever. You got to be able to sell, right? You also have to be able to understand quantitative stuff, qualitative stuff, and just take a lot of BS, over the years as you rise through the ranks. And God willing, and I really hope for those of you that do the investment banking stuff route, that you don't have a family while you do it. It's hard to be balanced. Yeah. And if you're going to be a hedge fund, I think that if you're very long-term focused, you can do well. And that's why my favorite hedge funds are the ones that are Tiger Cubs. And I'll explain what that means. There's a brilliant man named Julian Robertson who started Tiger, a great hedge fund. He's from Virginia. He started it in the 80s. He did really well. And I have tons of friends that worked for him. And I have lots of friends that left him and started their own companies, their own hedge funds called Tiger Cubs, and a lot of them done really well. Because the secret to Julian Robertson's success is that he was very long-term focused. He was a fundamental investor, 3-year time horizon, whatever, which is long for a hedge fund. So anyway, those if you have more questions about that, I'd be more than happy to answer. All right. And this guy, Julian Robertson, what he did was during the 80s was a crazy time. I remember as a kid, I loved Ronald Reagan. He was my hero growing up. I grew up in Canada. But we were all terrified of the Cold War. Julian Robertson he's incredibly wealthy. He was so terrified as well that, and he and a lot of, this is out there, I know what I'm about to say, but a lot of people that were very wealthy in the 80s, they analyzed cloud patterns. If there was a nuclear war and nuclear fallout, the last part of the world that would get adversely impacted would be New Zealand. And so Julian Robertson, he owns a big golf course in New Zealand. He spends a lot of time down there, and a lot of very wealthy people do. New Zealand's a beautiful country. I went there on my honeymoon as part of a tour through Southeast Asia, which I paid for on margin. Then I got a margin call when I was in Hong Kong, but I did fine, whatever.